What is up, all you beautiful gamers? Welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. It's great to see you. It's almost great to see you too, Hunter. As per usual, we kick these things off by reading the comments, so thanks to all of you guys who leave them. Sutton left a great comment, one that I would probably fall for on Twitter, and I do just about every single day. You should cover the news about Sugma, the new esports group. I imagine he's going to follow that up with... Sugma
balls.
Yeah, something we probably can't say here. Thank you, Sutton, for the great comment, you beautiful gamer.
Lotto Bobato says, Jake, as per usual, lucky.
I knew you were going to pick that one. Yes, there are a lot of words that I say a lot of the time. When you make videos every day, you have some reoccurring lines. So as per usual, let's get into the Esports Rewind. Hope you all enjoy. And quite clearly, the bigger topic this past week is an admission of Adderall use and abuse, which is very prevalent in the esports scene. This coming from Huke in the Call of Duty scene, but likely any esport you cheer for has had accusations or has had talks of this also being a prevalent issue as well. No matter what the esports, certainly it is ongoing. It just depends if there's big enough figures to speak out about it, and Huke filled that role this past week, as he did admit during a Call of Duty run to win Call of Duty champs, he was also on Adderall, of which he is now weaned off of it. Weaned? I'm an idiot?
Weaned.
Okay, he is now weaned off of it. He is clean. He is feeling much healthier. Everyone respects the fact he was able to speak up about this. But obviously, him being such a known figure, it does beg the question, where else is this ongoing? And how big of an issue truly is Adderall in esports?
It seemed like something, and we've talked about this in some other videos, I think, but it seems like something that no one saw coming. And it was kind of like just a bomb to the scene, because so many people came forward and were like, oh, we support this, or like, yeah, we've seen this a lot too. And so it begs the question, what's going to happen next, if anything, in the league about this? Yeah,
and we've had pro players, a lot of whom have showed their respect for him. Like you said, this takes balls to admit this kind of thing. Didn't have to. You could have cleared the air, because a large portion of his video is to clear the air about some things that were ongoing with his former team, that being Dallas Empire, and his current teammates over at LA Thieves, which he did clear up, and we have responses for if you guys want to check out those videos. But still, yeah, to admit the use of something which apparently is against player agreements and CDL contracts, pro players have acknowledged this, to admit that, and then you also bring in the fact of an owner potentially knowing about it as well. Right. Who knows what punishments could be thrown out? I don't think rings or the championship will be revoked, but who's to say that Activision or the league don't punish Huke in some sense or another, because he has openly admitted to it. And if it's against league rules, what do? Do you set a precedent? I don't know. We just don't know. Anything can happen. I don't see them punishing him, but it could still be on the board.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to retroactively like go back and punish people for what did happen, or like take away rings or prize money or anything like that. But I do feel like there's a chance they could implement those drug test type deals of like, hey, if you're not prescribed Adderall or like taking it the way you're supposed to.
But then that line of...
Yeah, right. And then there'll be people who are prescribed Adderall who are able to take it. And then it's like, well, are they going to have an unfair advantage now? But then it's not like everyone in the league is taking it, which is how it feels almost, because like the way people have talked about it, of like, even Huke said in his video, he's like, well, I went into that scene and it just felt like everyone was taking it because...
He felt that pressure.
And I felt like I needed to, because it made me perform better. And so it's definitely a sticky situation. Sticky to see like Zuma talking about it and then him getting shut down, and so
so complex.
It'll be weird to see how it affects things, but we've heard Adderall. Everyone's heard about Adderall in the gaming scene for a long time, which is dangerous and not a good thing. So it'll be interesting how people handle it.
I mean, it got to the point where we had, of course, FaZe is commonly accused because they're the best roster by a landslide. They are just that good. And, you know, you have people like Simp trying to come out, and I'm sure he would encourage drug tests. Simp's girlfriend has been on Twitter saying, let's drug test, because I know he is clean and he is one of the best in the world. And obviously with Huke admitting this kind of thing, more eyes go to FaZe because they're a common name. And now this kind of only heightens those things. So there are players out there that are certainly clean that probably would welcome drug tests. There's that line of, is that a good resolution? Is there a full resolution, especially in an online era for this kind of stuff? Obviously a very complex issue. We offer our respect to Huke for coming out to speak about it. But this is a largely reoccurring problem that needs some better solutions in esports as a whole. And some big old news out there, of course, met with some big old drama, some controversy as well. That being FaZeClan, well known for the drama and controversy space, but some big headlines at that, which I thought was super cool. That being FaZeClan, 6 of their members on the cover of Sports Illustrated, all of which we presume are actually co-owners and going to be long-term faces of FaZeClan. Some people surprised by the faces they selected to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the first esports team to do so. The controversy, of course, coming the fact that Sports Illustrated had a crossover with esports, and none of the FaZeClan members selected are on a current competitive esports roster for FaZeClan, to which people were very angry about. I want to get this out of the gate. I was not on that note. I thought it was very cool. No matter what the organization was, I thought it was going to be cool. I was not expecting people to be upset about this, and now I'm kind of feeling guilty that I wasn't upset about it. I don't know. It just seems like people are searching for anything to be angry about. I understand some of it, though.
I was literally about to say, I feel like people just want to be upset by something, of like, want to complain about something that happens.
And we've been there. We've definitely done our fair share.
But still, it's like, man, FaZe got on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Why are you complaining about this? Like, this is great. It doesn't matter like who it is. They're recognizable FaZeClan members, and
they're FaZeClan fans.
They're FaZeClan fans. It's just the fans get on the cover. But you see them on the front cover of a mainstream sports magazine, and you should be excited about that for the gaming space. But yeah, we saw a lot of people, a lot of journalists like upset about it because it wasn't, like you said, they're esports players, which is just feels weird to me.
I think times have changed, especially with FaZe. There is a heavy overlap between esports and gaming. So yeah, maybe it should have been Sports X Gaming, not Sports X Esports for Illustrated in their cover. But either way, I mean, for me, when you riddle it down, I do wish there was at least one esports member. I would have loved to see someone from their COD roster, their most dominant esports roster, be on there, a recognizable face. But I think where they went with this is you have 6 people to fit on this cover, 2 of which are athletes, well-known, Bronny James, the son of LeBron, and Kyler Murray, NFL quarterback, both presumably also, all 6 members, co-owners. I think that's where a strong emphasis comes by. And then you have, besides them, your most watched and well-known creators. You have Temper, who is an OG member. You got the 2 athletes. Then you have Rug, your most watched member, and Swag and Nick Merckx, your Warzone duo, your COD boys, who are killing it. And obviously a guy like Nick is one of the most watched streamers. So for me, them picking those faces made a lot of sense, especially on Sports Illustrated, having 2 of your athletes who are also co-owners. I do wish there was one esports person, but I think I understand both sides of why FaZe did what they did.
If you're looking at it from FaZe's point of view, it seems like these people that we're going to pick need to be people that are going to stay here, that are going to be here for a while, because we don't want to put someone that's on one of our rosters on the front cover of Sports Illustrated that a lot of people are going to see and recognize as FaZe and be like, oh, these people are this FaZe group that we know nothing about. And so you want people that are going to be there for a while so that they will still recognize them, years down the line. Instead of someone on a roster who leaves a roster, goes over to Empire next year, to Optic next year, and then they got to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated for FaZe.
And I think, despite the argument, I really, if you want to be on one side or the other, go for it. I think you have your reasons. You guys know where we lean, though. I think there is also a reason to what you said. They want the long-lasting members. They put co-owners on this magazine for a reason, and I think that's why Rain and Banks, 2 very notable FaZe figures, clearly, based off recent things we have covered, were not chosen or not on this, because they want members who are going to be there and be co-owners for life or for a long, long period of time. I do think there's a bigger thing going on behind the scenes with FaZe and potential members selling. And yeah, at the end of the day, they're going to be judged for whatever choices they make. I wish there would have been just one esports guy in there. And it's unfortunate the backlash they got, but I think I understand where they're coming from on this one. So what did you guys think about FaZeClan being on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Is it worth the controversy or not? Yeah, you got an actual good story on this one. A fake Riot employee. This one was hard to watch.
So this is Riot Lilith. This is a video that's going to come out before this goes out, but as we're recording it, it hasn't came out yet. And so this is someone who went by the name Riot Lilith, and then a guy Hypo Tube maybe was his name. Guy that's not like super well known, and makes this video about Riot Lilith, who is a fake rioter, and gets her on stream to interview, and then he calls her out in the stream.
Have to ask, how long have you been impersonating a rioter? I'm sorry?
How long have you been impersonating a writer?
What do you mean?
Oh, by the way, the video I showed stream was actually a video confirmation from ye old Riot Swim Bananas, who said that you no longer work at Riot. You never work at Riot in the first place. You're unaffiliated with Riot in every single way. You've never worked there before, now, in the future, ever.
Interesting. I do work at Riot, actually.
Gotcha. I mean, it could be just a misunderstanding, perhaps, but I'm just following through with ye old rioters. This is everything we went through. They said you're not legitimate.
Which is crazy. She was claiming to be like a client specialist or something like that, like the League of Legends client team that works on the actual client you play the game in.
And should we say these are accusations?
No.
Because she's still defending it?
Well, no. Her account, at this point, her account's been suspended.
Okay, cool.
Actual Riot people will have come forward and been like, no, this is not a person. We don't know this person. But in the interview, he's like, okay, acting like he's going to ask a bunch of questions about the client. And then he brings up, which she can't see it, and so he has to explain it to her, which is the most awkward part. But he brings up this interview with one of the other Riot employees where he's talking to her on Discord, and she says that it's not a real person. And then he straight up asks her, how long have you been impersonating a Riot employee? And she doubles down and says that she actually is one, but she definitely is not, which just begs the question of why? Why do you do that?
Yeah, I wonder what her motivation was. What has she gotten out of it so far? Over the how do we know how long she's been impersonating a Riot employee?
I don't right now. I haven't seen that in any of the stuff I've looked at, so I'm not sure.
Because I'm just really confused. You have to get something out of it unless you're just a crazy, like, imagine going around and pretending to be like an esports talk writer or a client guy, but you're definitely not getting any benefits from it.
It's almost, I feel like from my, like what I'm thinking is she must have done it for maybe credibility.
Little resume builder?
Yeah, like a resume builder pretending to be a Riot employee. Oh,
hey,
I get to go on an
fake work
interview.
for a company. Like,
I guess if you're on social media and you say that you're a Riot employee on social media and then people believe you, then you can send that to like employers who are like, look, I'm a Riot employee. I don't know the motivation behind it, but it was weird because she was using a picture. She wasn't even on the video call with him, like on his stream. It was just this one picture of like the most generic catfish picture you can ever find on the internet. He goes and like reverse searches it, and he found the person's profile it was from like years ago. It was a very old picture, and it's one that you would think like, oh, that's a fake person for sure. There's no shot this is who this is.
but like, if you're still maybe like, would you want to get dinner? Like, just see if she shows up, kind of catfish.
Yeah, but still, I mean, she wouldn't even show up on camera. So
Yeah, that's wow. I don't even know. Like, so I guess we see where we go from here.
pretty much.
Are you real?
I think the story.
Am I real?
I think the story's over at this point because there's no shot that person comes back. Account's been suspended on Twitter, so obviously Riot reached out to Twitter and was like, hey, this is a person impersonating people from our company.
I just need to know how many others are out there. You know, what if there's like tons of fake rioters just going around as client specialists?
And that's like the only place you could, the only time you could ever do that is right now, coming out of a pandemic where people weren't like all in the office together. And so they're like, yeah, me too. I'm Riot. It's me. You want to interview me? And, which again, to your point, I don't know why.
Maybe she's just lonely and she was like, let's put Riot in my name and hopefully people will talk to me. Like, doesn't get any deals done, but she just talks to people.
Feels like there's better things to impersonate than a Riot client specialist for League of Legends.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the old story we never covered. There was actually people catfishing Overwatch pros on Tinder and stuff, which is way spicier, which I would... I'm not going to say I would much rather do, but it's way cooler of a story. No, it's not. Bad. Don't
cool
catfish.
at all.
No.
At the end of the day, we don't know why this person catfished a Riot employee, but she got called out by just a random streamer, and things are good now.
And a giant old debate out there that will stand the test of time. Yes, we got a question for all of you viewers out there. Would you watch the people you are watching if they were dating someone? I stopped watching Shroud a long time ago when I realized he had a girl. I just gave up on the fact that he'll never want me again. But it actually is a good question. We stretched back to some great topics out there, most recently brought up by...
Sup, Caitlin.
And she, on stream, was actually talking about... She kind of just blatantly says, you guys would not watch me if I openly had a boyfriend, which I think sparks a great debate.
I think it is great Like you said,
Slow news day,
is
huh?
interesting, right? Oh, you're talking about a girl talking about herself on stream? Well, it's
Esports
interesting.
talk, more like girl talk.
And she's very aware of the situation, which is also interesting because she goes on to say, I don't think you guys would watch me if I had a boyfriend, but someone like Leslie Fuslie could have a boyfriend and she'd be fine. People would still watch her based on her community versus someone else like Caitlin's community. She goes, literally says, I'm not saying this myself. She's like, I built this community and a lot of you clicked on it because of my tits. Is literally what she says.
Yes, not us.
That's a
she
quote.
said it.
And
she said it.
She's saying like most of you guys, I built this based around attraction. And so if I had a boyfriend, I don't think you guys would watch it.
And I think where I come from, just keeping it simple, I don't know what you guys think, but what do you think? Would you watch the people you watch if they actually were dating someone? I think, yes, this is going to impact female streamers probably a bit more, whose audiences are probably predominantly male.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect someone like Nick Merckx. If he has
got
a girl,
married, I stopped watching.
or Shroud, right? So I think it will impact a little bit. You know, if you're, let's say you are a dude that was very attractive and that was where you built your sole audience from, and all of a sudden you got a girl, I imagine you would lose a portion of your female audience. Now, how much is going to impact each individual streamer? I don't know. Is it certainly true? 100%. This is going to affect. There's a lot of people out there who maybe watch people because they're, I don't know where I'm going. I don't want to call people lonely.
Well, probably. I don't
think it's a majority of people, but I do think there's obvious reasons why some streamers, there's different reasons why you hold back your relationships. And I'm glad that she was open to admit that the reason why she would is because of viewership.
We've seen people like Pokey talk about it, Ray, like bring up their relationships and say that they don't want it to be in public because of how people react to it.
Yeah, and this is where it gets complicated. We're not throwing any shots. I think some streamers do it because it does impact viewership. I think there are other motivations to not share your relationship publicly, though, because also they have gigantic fan bases who can target you. And then, of course, if your partner gets involved, they all of a sudden get involved in drama and controversy they might not want to be involved with in the first place. Like if I'm, oh man, I don't want to get clipped. If I'm Pokemon's boyfriend, I don't think I would want that to be public because I don't want to be involved with such a toxic-natured fan base that sometimes comes after her that would also come after you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's totally true that when female streamers have relationships, especially with guys, then the audience just comes out and just roasts that person completely. Of like all these guys who like want to be that person's boyfriend, significant other, and then they
now
see their boyfriend
hate you.
Exactly. And so they just come after that, or the boyfriend, the actual boyfriend in the situation, and just like flame them and hate on them constantly. But some people do it fine. So it's very interesting. Like the first example I think of is Ludwig and Cutie, of like their relationship is a large part of their stream.
Are Lily and Michael together as well? They do it really well.
So it's like, it really does depend. I wouldn't think people like Pokey or Caitlin could have their significant other on stream. You know, that's a big difference too, of like knowing they have a boyfriend or the boyfriend always being on the stream with them. People are gonna, I think, find themselves a little more upset if the significant other is on stream.
This is very subjective, so I think it's going to differ streamer to streamer. Certainly, yes, I think for some female streamers, if they have boyfriends, their viewership will lower. How much is it going to lower? I don't know. That's just how audiences work. Do I care either way? No. What do you guys think? I got a good old second female story out there for you. Maybe some controversial tweets coming from the Brazilian space. It's actually a Brazilian organization known as INS and their Academy League of Legends roster. Stick with me, okay? I'm curious what y'all think about this one. They were actually facing off against Loud and their Academy roster. Loud is one of the most popular Brazilian brands out there, exploding. They are huge. For INS in their Academy roster, one of their members is actually a female. As they took down Loud, she actually was the MVP of that game. Just an individual game, she was the MVP, to which INS decided to tweet out a picture of an anime figure sitting with the arse out, an INS logo over the arse, and the tweet said, there's a stutter, it's big, isn't it? To which a lot of people took this the wrong way because, yes, you had it was a female anime figure. You have your female player do very well, and it's a oddly sexual reference and way to promote ints just because your female player did really well. And I can't imagine anyone. I first thought was like, okay, what if Sentinels did this all the time when tens popped off? They just showed an anime figure that is supposed to be tens with his arse out and says it's big, isn't it? It'd be funny it'd probably be a bit funnier, but for this,
I don't even know if it would be. Like, I feel so.
It'd be awkward.
Just looking at it without even any context, it's a weird tweet. Like, just the picture is weird in itself. Of like, why are you tweeting this on a brand account, especially for an organization?
Like,
yeah, then it's just
isn't it? Like we won the game,
right? Like, why on earth would you do that? It's different if like it's a personal creator or a professional player.
Yeah, like if Tens did it on his own account.
Yeah, versus some social media manager.
I probably shouldn't.
Nah, it's.
If it was her from her own account, that's her own choice.
Yeah.
But it's an organization, oddly, I don't know. It's a weird situation. I don't think they meant anything bad from it, but you got to learn, especially if you don't know, INS has had controversy with female creators in their past recently. So I think that kind of heightened everything. And of course, we all know about female toxicity. For me, it was just yikes, delete, hopefully move on. But
I don't know if a social media manager can bounce. I guess there's
can
probably
bounce on back. Apparently,
more leniency these days
back.
because we've seen so many people tweet things that they shouldn't have and not get fired. And so
I was gonna say shout out to the Dignitas piss tweets.
Literally so many. There's so many we could reference of people like making bad posts on a brand account and then having to delete it, but not having any effect on their actual career, which like give and take, like that's a hard job to like always post the right thing, I guess. But also you see this picture, why do you even think you can post it?
The dude had to literally Photoshop. He had to edit this picture.
Right.
He put the INS logo on an anime figure's arse. He typed it all out, edited it. It was like, no problems. Send.
I feel like he had that one in the bank.
Yeah.
I feel like he made
when
that one day.
When she's the MVP, this is going out, dude.
This is gonna be a banger.
This is gonna be a literal banger. They have apologized, by the way, and we move on. Everything is okay. And very lastly, for all you listeners, finally, Battlefield is here. Will it be the Call of Duty Warzone killer? Probably not. Are we probably overhyped? Probably so. But, Hunter, break it down.
A lot of people, so the big trailer came out, not a gameplay trailer, just a cinematic trailer. So we actually still don't know much about the gameplay or what it's going to look like. But big trailer comes out. People love it. The cinematic all the touches are just really good.
I think we're all desperate for a game right now.
Yes.
So, but it was beautiful.
And Warzone has been played the crap out of by content creators and everyone. It's like the casual go-to game right now. Some people still play Rocket League as a casual game, but
Some
Warzone,
go back to Fortnite.
Yeah, and so people are looking for this casual game. Reference back to the trailer, they have this old reference to an awesome moment back in Battlefield 3 where a player had jumped out of their airplane and then shot a rocket launcher and got back in. So they throw that reference in there. People lose their minds about it because it is awesome to see a company referencing something one of their players did, like everyone in the community knew about.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but we are still waiting to see if it's going to be able to compete. We learned a couple of things, like at launch at least, there's not going to be a campaign or a battle royale, which is an interesting choice because if you want to compete with Warzone, you have to have a battle royale, and Battlefield in the past did have one.
Yeah, and I think people are hoping for it, much like they are with Halo, because, like you said, Warzone's been beat to death. It's riddled with cheaters, hackers, other issues competitively, and just the fact that it's been a while. Yeah. And it's really kind of at the time of Fortnite. I think Warzone's going to be a long-lasting game just like Fortnite, but it's around that time of like, okay, what is next? Will it be Halo Infinite BR? Will it be a Battlefield BR? Can either one of them kind of take the new reins? It seems like it's a tough feat competing with Warzone and Fortnite, in my opinion. But I guess we wait and see.
I think if Halo or Battlefield come out with a BR that has
Halo
an
has a better
anti-cheat,
chance, in my opinion.
Yes, I think so too. But if like Battlefield comes out before that does, and they have a good anti-cheat, they can do it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they could take over Warzone, or at least take a large part of the population, because so many are tired of cheater. We see hackers and cheaters every single day, and people being pissed off about it and annoyed at it. So Battlefield come out with their own 4-man squad thing that has good anti-cheat. People can't screw you over because they're hacking. Move the tournaments over there. Why not?
So let's see. We have to wait and see for both of them. Actually,
Yeah, I know.
Halo, not here yet. Battle Royale, not even guaranteed. Same for Battlefield. We'll wait and see which one do you think has a better chance to compete with Fortnite and Warzone, if they even have Battle Royales. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the weekly Esports Rewind podcast. If you want to like or leave a comment down below, that's just freaking wonderful. Thank you so much for listening. Hunter, you want to show these fine fellas and ladies out?
Everyone be safe. Don't drink too much. Don't drink too little. Bye-bye.
Perfect balance. All right, ta-ta.